BMW has been made famous by two car models in the lineup. The first one is the BMW 3 Series. And you guys are wondering which BMW 3 Series? Most of you will say it's the E30. Well, I'm here to give you the bad news. It is the E46. And the next model from the BMW lineup that made BMW what it is today is the BMW 5 Series. Again here, people will say, we like the classic E24. But the bad news again here is the most accomplished, the most complete, the most beautifully crafted and awesome 5 Series was the BMW E39. But today on Kanisa, I have the 6th generation of the BMW 5 Series by the codename the G30. I know currently in the market trends, SUVs are the most sought after cars to buy because of their versatility and of course practicality as well. But there was a time in the era of car manufacturing that compact luxury executive cars were the in thing to go for. And during that time, there were 3 significant competitors. One of them was the BMW, of course, and 2 is Mercedes-Benz, and the last one was the Audi. And these people went head to head to revolutionize the way people bought and drove their cars. And it will be unfair if I start this review without taking you back so that you understand the journey that the 5 Series has had to this 6th generation. The 5 Series is quite an iconic car, and from the classic E24 all the way to the E39, which again, as I said before, is one of the most accomplished, luxury, stylish and performance 5 Series that has been ever done. If I had to buy a BMW 5 Series, of course, if I don't get the E39, I will skip the E60 and move to the F10. Again, BMW moved a step further and brought in the E60. And the E60 came in during an era of revolution. This is an era between 2000 and 2004. Here is where the market trends at that moment. People are going after curvy and streamlined cars. And BMW was doing the A4, the A6. Mercedes-Benz came in with the legendary Mercedes-Benz W211, and of course BMW thought it's wise to come back with another generation of the 5 Series, which was the E60. Apparently it was never bought because people felt it was a downgrade from the E39. And later on BMW brought in the F10, of course, and today on this episode of Kanisa we have the next generation after the F10, and that is the BMW G30 or G31 if you're planning to buy the wagon version. And let's get into it. And before we get into it, maybe did you know that in 2022 BMW as a brand was ranked as the 3rd most reliable brand after Toyota and Lexus? Yeah. Wase wa BMW flatbed jokes, I see you retracting. Mnazificha sahi kwa mfuko. At this moment is where I ask you guys to relax, chill. If you haven't subscribed, please, from Papa Skofu, I'm asking you, hit that subscribe button, turn the bell icons and have all the notifications turned on because content inaanza kukuja moto one after one. And majenzi, wase wa ule jamaa inafaa shuke. Are you guys enjoying the content from the young lad Mwema and Bugwa? If so, give me your comments, give me your feedback. I'll want to hear and know how you guys are doing. So let's get into it. This is the 6th generation of the BMW 5 Series, denoted by the codename G30 or G31 if you are to buy the wagon style. And the design philosophy on this car was quite simple, elegant, manly or masculine, and just quite subtle. There's nothing shouting about it. If I would have put the Mercedes-Benz W213 next to it, the W213 looks quite beautiful and attractive. This is not a car that will shout when it approaches you and it drives towards you, but it's quite nicey, and it borders a bit of sportiness if you just have a keen eye and look at it. Now, one thing that I want to tell you guys is this is when the kidney grille was still sizable. Okay, compared to the previous generation, which is the F10, the kidney grille has slightly been made bigger. But if you guys watch out for the ones that are coming after this, I think BMW is trying to make them more uglier, because now this kidney grille is here. This one is also here. So I don't know. So this trim is actually the luxury line. BMW have made 3 trim levels on this particular model of the G30. So you have the luxury line, you have the sport line, and you have the M package. So this is the luxury line. And how do you know that this is a luxury line? Of course, you have these trims, chrome appendages all over here on the big, again, quite bright fog light, and these adaptive LED headlights that are quite bright and very attractive, especially at night when they just light up. They give you that look that reminds you that these are BMW, and if you're looking for something, then you're of course going to get it from this car. And before I show you the side profile and what you'll get on the side profile, there's something here that you can see. So these are the radar aided cruise control sensors from BMW. And while other automakers are moving all these things, Mercedes-Benz and BMW have decided they're going to keep it here. Others are moving it to the windscreen, just right where the connected drive system are. But Mercedes and BMW decided we are going to keep ours on this to just make it precise and efficient. But in case of an accident, that is a costly part that you're going to replace. Come to the side profile again. The luxury line of this particular model that I'm standing beside is still being shown through, the chrome appendages right there written luxury, and this active vent that actually helps to cool the brake pads when you're driving this car. And the side profile look is quite easy again, with design curves and lines that are running all the way to the rear. When it comes to suspension, at the rear we are running 5-link suspension, independent of course on each side, just to make this car drive quite nicely. And in case you want it to dance and do burnouts, of course that will be able to give you the much anticipated feel that you're looking for. At the front we have double wishbone. Again, that comes in handy when it comes to handling and driving this car on our Kenyan roads. These are cars, of course, BMWs are designed purely to have fun and enjoyment when you're driving them. And if you're not sure about the credibility of the sportiness look in the BMW 5 Series, then here we come. When you come to the rear side of the BMW 5 Series, and you notice this one doesn't have any badges except the BMW badge. I assume the guy was using this car in Japan, decided to delete all the badging so that it confuses you and makes you wonder, which BMW series is this exactly? But this is the 530i. One thing that I love about how it looks at the rear, unlike the front, I think the sportiness look is quite aggressive on the rear side. LED rear taillights with a split. There are those that are kept, there are those that remain on the boot when you lift it up. There are those that remain on the hood. Let me lock this boot space kidogo before we come back to practicality. One thing I love about this car again is, you still have your chrome appendages going on. Just to remind you that this is the luxury line of the BMW 5 Series. And you have 2 active quad exhaust. There are no fake. Okay. You understand what I'm saying, right? Let's get into practicality. The BMW 5 Series is quite practical. One thing I'll tell you about this particular model or this particular series of the BMW 5 Series is they've done a bit of few changes. One is they have reduced the weight. The body, it's made out of aluminium, and it has been reduced. The weight of this car has been reduced by almost 100 kilos compared to the previous generation of the BMW 5 Series, which was the F10. And that has made BMW to be able to achieve 2 things. One, they have made this car a bit longer and a bit taller as well. And that doesn't really translate to the boot space, because the boot space here, it's quite commendable for a practical car of this size. But again, it's around 10 milliliters, less than what you'll get in a Mercedes-Benz E-Class. But again, if you're buying this car, it's a mid-compact luxury car. You're not looking for an extensive boot space. But what you have here, believe me, works. Of course, BMW presumes whoever is going to buy this car has a small family or an upcoming family, so practicality and the boot trunk space is quite important. You can also, drop your seats from behind here. You just pull those levers and your seats can fold over, and if you have a long luggage, you can do that. For those who love skiing, Unfortunately, Kenya, we don't have. So here, what we'll be using that center hole for, because you can fold the center seat, second row of seat, to allow you have a long luggage that you can pass through into the cabin of the car. I think the only thing we can be carrying there ni zile fimbo za kwenda kupiga watu wa maandamano, because hizo ndo mrefu. Away from that, you get an electronic tailgate. I think for a car 2017 going forward, this kind of thing should be standard. Toyota, I'm talking to you. Let me show you how the interior of this car looks, and just to remind you that BMW has also done an extensive work in terms of making this car look good in the outside and look good as well in the inside. Being a compact executive luxury car, BMW didn't disappoint. Kwanza, the space here at the rear is quite awesome. You know, I remind you again, I'm 6'2". I know you guys keep on laughing about it, but I'm serious, man. I'm 6'2". Like for real. 6'2". Yeah. Okay. Space, quite good. 6'2" again, I'll remind you. You can see quite epic space. I think for a tall person, you know, a slightly bigger person, you'll find this space quite comfortable and a nice place to be in. There are a few things that are still going on. Just to remind you that these are luxury line again. This chrome on the knob to open your door. There's still chrome on the door and a very nice wood finish. Again, that silver line chrome still going on. Just those accents to remind you that this is the luxury line of the BMW 5 Series. Few things that you get are quite interesting and maybe luxury features that people don't find luxury is you still get heated seats and you have 3 levels of heating. So depending on how hot you want your behind to be, you can adjust. Of course, dual zone climate control at the rear, and you can control cold or hot from here. The only unfortunate thing is there's only one button. So I think it's a 3-zone. It's not dual because you can only control whether you get hot or you get cold. And then the other people can control, like each individual seat can control the amount of air that is coming out from the vents. You get your ISOFIX again, to just remind you that this is a car that has been designed to cater for, you know, a family configuration, which is quite good. The leather, Nappa leather, premium with open stitchings that are visible to the eye, with again silver, or they appear like silver. I'm not good in colors, but I think this looks like silver. Bugo will remind us when he says, but it's black on silver with very visible stitchings just to make it again look premium and awesome. Aeroplane design, storage cabins where you put your thing. And one thing I love about this car is, you know, the cabin, the door cabins where you store your water. I don't want to advertise these guys, but it's quite big, especially for passengers at the rear. Just makes this car feel awesome. Well, there's some disappointing news. On the center rest point, there is no storage space. So if you're carrying your phones, BMW thought you should just carry them in your pocket. But you do get cup holders, which are very tiny. Let me see if I can fit this one in. Oh, this can't fit. So I think you're good using cups here and not bottles. Oh, they're actually cup holders, not bottle holders. Sorry. That's all you get from here. Let's move to the front of the BMW 5 Series luxury line and see what technologies and what convenient features has BMW made possible to have on this car. Let's talk about thieves. And when I'm talking about thieves, I'm not saying those who are in parliament, those who are stealing our taxes and making us say very weird things. Tuendelee kuwasalimia, by the way, because they need to be accountable. I'm talking about the thuggery that happens in the automotive space, especially around manufacturing. So coming from a Mercedes-Benz, you know what Mercedes does. So what they do is they give you different trim levels of their cars. So if you're buying, let's say, an E250, you'll get basic stuff. And then once you start going up, then the more the engine, the powerful the engine, then the more options you get. But BMW have made it quite different. They're giving you the driving pleasure across the board, whether you're buying an M5 competition or you're buying the one that comes with a diesel engine, you pretty get standard feel in terms of how the driving dynamics are. The only things that are different maybe is when you select different options, like the suspension, if you get adaptive suspension, if you get air suspension. But now here, all those things I'm talking about, BMW have made it an option. So it means, for instance, in this package of this car, this is a luxury line. In the luxury line, I expect to get a lot of things, like this iDrive system that I have here. It's supposed to have gestures where I can, put the volume up and just turn the volume down and show it some, Gen Z gestures, and it keeps on doing some stuff. Like going next, you just point to it and it goes to the next song. But apparently in this car, it's not there. So that's an option that BMW requires you to pay for it in case you're going to buy any option in this car. So and they're not cheap. They are costly, and that's something that I just needed you to point out. Whereas you get a complete, versatile, interesting car to drive across all the BMWs, but they have made it quite expensive for you to get options. Like the sunroof is an option that you have to pay for. It's not standard. But away from that, now that you know the thuggery that is happening, let's talk about what you get in the luxury line. Again, the chrome appendages just still going on to remind you that this is a luxury package. You get the newest updated iDrive system. This is running version 6. The previous model, the F10, was running version 5. And you get quite interesting things. These are 10.25 display monitor that is touch, and you can still control it using the center knob that is here that has a trackpad. Everything else is quite simple. You get a digital cluster that adjusts and changes. Let me just put on this car according to the driving mode you choose. So for instance, right now, I am in comfort. So if I change to Eco Pro, it changes as well. So I think it's a nice feature to have for people who love technology and interesting, intuitive thing. But one thing I love about it is, again, the driver-centric nature of this dashboard. It's pointed towards me, just telling the passenger that this car is supposed to be operated by me and not them. For them, they are there to sit and enjoy. Of course, Napa leather still going on. Quite convenient, quite quality, and quite luxurious as well. Very small storage compartment here where you can put your phone with the USB and a charging port, a 12-volt charging port that you can plug in. Easy drive-by-wire, again, ZF transmission, we've talked about that. But the quality, the build quality, this is plastic. They lied. This is leather. Plastic. In terms of practicality, apart from this space you get here, your glove compartment, which is not quite big. It's only actually just the size of the manual, and all the books are the only ones that can fit there. But your huge door bins are still going on. You get an electronic telescopic, can tilt down, tilt up. Now, in terms of options, you remember the options I was talking about. So if you buy this car with an option of massage, it has 8 massage options. So if you are lucky to get the one that comes with the massage option, I'm telling you, it's one of the best feeling you can have. The massage is just epic, and you can tune it. You can have mild, you can have aggressive, you can have like the lowest, like it has 3 steps of adjustment. So try that one. If you get one that has that, perfect. A very subtle, nice wood finish. And of course, kuna vitu zingine za kawaida kama heated seats. Do I need to tell you that you have heated seats at the front as well? I think for a luxury car or sub or a compact luxury executive car of this caliber, these are supposed to be standard, and there's nothing much to talk about. Of course, the steering wheel is functional and not sporty. It's a luxury car, but you can get a sport one that is thicker that you can just hold and enjoy driving. And before I step out, just a little bit of what you get when you buy this car in terms of the iDrive system. I said this is the iDrive version 6. So the previous generation did not have a touch screen. So you get a touch screen, and the interface has been improved. It's quite intuitive. It's quite easy to use. You get your normal warnings, like this one is telling us to check our brake fluid, change brake fluid, it's overdue, and the rest of the other options that you just enjoy. Convenient features. And again, one thing that I love about it is you can cluster the ones you like together. So for instance, if I want music to be here, I can just hold it and move it. There you go. I can move it and say I want music to be the first one, and I want connected drive to be the second one, and then I want, you can move basically and group them the way you want. And once you're done, everything looks quite nice. I like it. Quite nice. So you see, that's my page 1. Quite easy, quite simple. Bluetooth connectivity, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. These are normal things for this caliber of a car. Now, let's talk about something controversial. I know in the previous generation of the F10, comparing it to the W212, the F10 looked like it's the one that was a luxury car. But when we go now to this version of the BMW, the G30 and the G31 and the G38, which is actually a long wheel version that is only sold in China, I can tell you without fear of contradiction that the Mercedes-Benz W213 choose this car in terms of everything. Luxury features, the interior feel, because when you go into the W213, you get a very big infotainment system. Actually, it's 12.25 inches here, and another one here again, and the MBUX is quite interesting and quite interactive to use. So I don't know. I feel on this platform, the Mercedes-Benz takes it in terms of luxury features, convenient features, and the interior build quality. Let me stop talking. I think I've done too much of talking. Can we check out what this car packs up under the hood? Let's do it. If you decide to buy the BMW 530, particularly this one that I'm standing next to, then what engine option are you going to get under the hood? So what we have here is a 2-liter direct injection turbocharged engine from BMW by the codename B48. And this one comes with a single turbo that has a twin scroll, meaning you are taking care of your rev band from low RPM all the way to high RPM. When you're doing low RPM and you are wondering whether you still have turbo lag, well, the smaller scroll will take care of that. If you're going high boost and you're getting high RPMs, then the bigger scroll will make that happen. So the turbo lag on this car is quite negligible. If you're not a professional or an experienced driver, you might not actually notice it. So let's talk about the reliability or the technology that you get in the B48 engine. Again, if you guys are wondering how much power output figures do you get from the B48, so this one will push 248 HP and 350 Newton meters of torque. But again, there's a lot of variations on this engine. There's actually one that is capable of pushing upwards of 300 horsepower. So if you're planning to buy the most powerful version of this, and funny enough, they are found on the Mini Coopers, especially the Countryman. From I think 2020 or 2018, you get the most powerful B48 version of this engine. The technology here is quite simple. Of course, you get your Vanos, but on this particular engine, they are double Vanos, so you don't get one. If one Vanos system was scaring you, then on this particular engine, you get two. The other technology you get is a variable valve lift, and this one will help with fuel economy, performance, and emissions as well. In terms of reliability, this particular engine has a lot of reliability credibility. No one has questioned the reliability of this particular engine since it was produced from 2015, and it has undergone again few revisions from 2018. So if you buy this engine from 2018, they have done forged pistons which are lighter, which makes this engine quite compact and a performance unit that you can tune and get a lot of power from. But in case you're wondering, what other engine options will you get if you decide to explore the range of the G30 or the G31 for that matter? Well, away from the M or the M competition, which features a 4.4 V8 petrol engine called the N63, which, again, mark my word, is the most useless and unreliable engine you can buy on this platform, unless you're willing to sacrifice reliability for the power that it gives. Of course, it has undergone few revisions, but take it from me, from the BMW purists and what I've seen on the forums, the N63 is an engine that you want to stay away from. And if you're a guy who is looking for a medium powerful engine and you don't want the B48 and you don't want the unreliable, not so good N63, then you'll settle on the petrol lineup. You'll settle for the B58, which is a straight six, again turbocharged, quite reliable, quite formidable, quite powerful engine from BMW. And you can get it again on this platform by buying a BMW, let's say 540i. That's what you get, the 3-liter version of that engine. Let's cross over the diesel counterparts. BMW has made it quite simple. If you're buying a diesel BMW 5 Series, especially the D30/G31, you only get two engine options. One is the B47 and the other one is the B57. Remember the B57, again, it has different variations. It's the same engine we had on the X5 M50D. And that was pushing almost 400 HP and 750 Newton meters of torque. So if you're looking for an engine that you can abuse and still have epic fuel economy, and you don't want to buy the N63 that is quite unreliable, then I'll ask you maybe to consider the B57, and particularly get the B57S, because that is where the juice flows in the BMW 5 Series. The other engine that you maybe get, BMW has also, embraced the new hybrid systems, and so the petrol engines, you are able to get them with a mild hybrid application. Sending power to the rear wheel, of course, this car will also have an option of an all-wheel, which comes with the codename an X. If you see any BMW 5 Series that has an X, then you know that features an all-wheel drive system from BMW. But in case you're not getting an X, you're getting a rear-wheel drive, then all this power across the lineup is being sent to the rear wheels through an 8-speed ZF transmission, which is quite beautiful. Let's just take this car on the road and see how it feels to drive the combination of the B48 paired to an 8-speed ZF transmission. For those who still want to buy another transmission, well, BMW has made it possible to have a 6-speed manual, but that one I think you'll only get it from the UK market. From the Asian market, it comes standard with the 8 ZF transmission. So let's drive this car and see, is it as sporty as they say? And does it have or contain the legendary BMW feel of pure driving pleasure? Well, let's find out. So how does it feel to drive the BMW 530i? Right now, I'm in Eco Pro mode. This is where you want to save fuel and maximize efficiency. And the car is quite easy, it's subtle, doesn't give you the sporty vibe. Just a car that you'll want to carry in your kids and enjoy a nice trip while, conversing about why the MPs are stealing our money. I've said that a million times because I'm pissed off with what these guys are doing. That is the best driving mode you can get. You're saving fuel and you're enjoying your cruise. But you have also comfort, which is a balance between, the sporty option of driving and the Eco Pro. So you're having a balance. If you want to do a bit of an aggressive driving, the comfort will give you a bit of that. And if you want to save fuel again and enjoy just an easy drive, the comfort will give you that. The cabin noise it's quite good. The build quality of this car is quite good. And there's one thing we've been bashing BMW for a long time, and that is their cameras. I can tell you, even the X5, when I did the review of the X5, I hated the reverse cameras. I hated the quality of how they displayed. But on this platform, the 530i from 2017, the G30, they've done a bit of an upgrade, and the cameras are quite nice. They're sharp, they're clear, the quality is good. And something interesting they went ahead and did just to have an extra edge over other competitors is actually the front camera and the rear camera. When you're driving, when you turn, especially when you're doing reverse parking or front parking, the cameras turn with the wheels. So if you turn the wheels, the front camera also turns to just illuminate where you're going. And the rear camera, again, when you're reversing and you turn your wheels, it also turns with your wheels to just illuminate where you're going. I think that's a good feature that I had on this car. I've talked about options. There are things that I need to talk about options when it comes to the driving experience. Of course, I told you about massage seats, ventilated seats, heated is a bit standard, but those two, ventilation and massage seats, it's an option that you have to pay for as premium. Technology around safety, again, these guys are 5-star rated, but the other extra technology that you have to pay for. Right now, the only thing I have is lane centering, which when you have like your lines drawn on the road and you have cruise control on this car, will try to center itself within the lanes. But the other thing, like adaptive cruise control, those are things that you get as an option on this car, and it's bugging my head. BMW are just selling you every little thing that you need on this car. And again, that's what you get with modern manufacturers. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to get your money through buying the car. They'll make sure they get your money through the extra luxury features that you want. So now I've talked about everything. Again, this car is a driver-centric car. The dashboard is facing the driver. The steering wheel is quite nice. I'm going to turn her into sport mode. And when I do sport mode, again, this primes the engine, it primes the transmission, and it primes, let me just see, it primes the steering. So the steering firms up a little bit. Right now it's hard and it's quite aggressive. When you point it where you want, it points there. And the steering wheel on this is the rack and pinion, but it's electrically assisted, and that gives you a vibe of assist. At the same time, I'm just enjoying how I feel the steering wheel is connected to the wheels. Like if you point it, and the feedback is just awesome. It gives you the sportiness that you're looking for when you want to own and drive a car that has a sporty edge. This is not by all means a sports car, but it's a sports car on a budget. with reliability on that. So there's something that BMW have mastered, and that is the art of sheer driving pleasure. I've been daily driving a W212 for the last like 3-4 months now, and I can tell you, coming from that car and driving this car, there's something significantly different in terms of how this car feels to drive. The ergonomics around the driving dynamics are just different. This feels like it's a car, just gives you the idea that you want to chase people, and the throttle response is quite aggressive. The steering is sporty, and she just goes into corners and throws you around like, come on, BMW. I'm really enjoying driving this car. The only thing that is remaining to do here is confirm whether, the 0 to 100 is as epic as I say. So I want to get myself into position. Come on. The ZF is just, I love it. I think the 248 HP are delivered quite nicely in this car. It's a car that you'll enjoy driving on a normal cruise, and also when you want to play around a little bit, this will give you that. And considering it's pushing all those numbers to the rear wheel, come on, what else are you looking for? So let me make a turn. Let me position this car where I need it to be. Let's do a 0 to 100 acceleration and see how much time do we need to get to 0 to 100. So guys, the only thing that is remaining to be done here is confirm the numbers. You've seen Bugu has been upgraded. Now he's doing an awesome job with Mwema. So on these episodes of Kanisa, I'll be glad to be hosting all these alone. So today, she's in sports mode. I've done all the priming I need. I've confirmed kila kitu iko sawa. I've put my foot down on the brake, and I'm going to put the other foot on the accelerator, and I'm going to lost some traction there, which is quite awesome. Let me see how much, and we have the numbers. Ooh, and the brake feel. She can stop, guys. She can stop. No. It can't be true. No. It can't be true. It can't be true. It can't. Guys. Saying. So the deceleration. I've decelerated from 100 to 0 in 3.55 seconds. I've accelerated from 0 to 100 in 8.7 seconds. Quite interesting. Can't believe it. Can I just do another take for confirmation purposes? Fine. Pardon me. Take 2. BMW 5 Series 530i B48, 248 HP, 350, and launch. Wow. Traction control lost. ZF. I love this car, man. And stop again. Let's see. Wow. This car can stop. It can stop a pregnancy. The numbers, guys. Okay, we did better this time round. So deceleration still remains 3.55 seconds from 100 to 0. 0 to 100 in 7.67 seconds. That's awesome. 0 to 60 in 3.86. I love that. I think this car is awesome. I know there's something else that I felt when launching this car. The power is being sent to the rear wheel, and because of that, I'm losing some traction during launch. I think the one that comes with all-wheel drive will do a better launch, and maybe it will do better numbers 0 to 100. But so far, I'm amazed. This car is awesome. It's beautiful. If it's doing 7.67 seconds, 0 to 100, come on, guys. We've seen cars doing worse that have bigger engines than this one. So I love this car. I think this is a car that you can buy, to use it for both purposes. Luxury, easy cruising for office use, family outings and trips, and also if you want to go out and hang out with your friends and just enjoy driving a car that gives you both vibes, I think this is a perfect car. Let's talk about value for money, because I want us to talk about reliability. How reliable is this car? We want to talk about the cost. How much does it cost to buy this car, and does it make value for money? una uwezo wa kusema utaki, lakini siyo kwa matusi dada. The matusi here is the big word that I need you to capture, because before I talk about value for money, there's something that we need to talk about and analyze, and one of them ni matusi ambazo mnatuma kwa watu wa BMW, the flatbed jokes. Initially, I gave you a fun fact around BMW being among the most reliable. Imagine, in 2022, it came after Toyota and Lexus. Sasa hapo matusi itabidi mpunguze kiburi. Guess on that list who was number 24 out of 24? My lovely, adored friend Mercedes-Benz. On that list, and remember, these are consumer report. These are consumer-related reliability report, where an independent company or an independent organization has gone forth to collect data from people who've owned BMW for a specific number of years, and all that put together, it gives you the credibility of the reliability report. And just to be precise and on point, again, in terms of reliability, I've told you before that if you buy this particular model of this car, the 530i, then probably you're buying the most reliable and stable 5 Series ever. But if you decide to go higher and buy the M5 or the M competition with the N63, then you're buying yourself a lemon. And again, on the same platform, you have 2 cars that have totally different reliability scores. So understand. And again, when I talk about brand reliability, I think this is a question that cuts across many different cars. So whereas BMW has scored good numbers in terms of reliability, it doesn't mean all the BMWs are reliable. And mark this again, just below BMW, you have Honda and Mazda. And I've been telling you guys over again that Mazda and Honda are slowly becoming the new Toyota. So let's talk about value for money, because we're done with the reliability. If you're going to buy this car, you're going to spend around 4 million Kenya shillings. This review has been made possible by AUTOSELECT, by Conversation. And if you've not called Winfred, if you've not called Ran, if you've not called the entire team at AUTOSELECT by Conversation to show you the quality cars that they have in stock, you are missing out. So this particular one, if you call Ran or you call Winfred, they will sell this car to you at 4 million Kenya shillings. It's below 100,000 kilometers on the clock, so it's quite quality. It's quite good in terms of what it provides in terms of value for money. Let's talk about the competition. If you are to buy a 2017 Mercedes-Benz W213, how much money are you going to spend? We have one that is a diesel in stock that will set you back around 4.5 million Kenya shillings. If you go the petrol version and get the Mercedes-Benz E250 213 that has a 2-liter engine, same as this particular 5 Series, then you're going to spend upwards of 5.4 million Kenya shillings. That is like 1.5 million Kenya shillings difference. I think minus the flatbed jokes, this particular car makes a lot of sense to buy. I know guys will buy the Mercedes-Benz because of the badge and the respect that Mercedes-Benz gives you. But if you enjoy driving, you enjoy, and you enjoy having the car speak to you as a driver, and then this is the perfect car that will give you value for money, practicality, and as well as a good feel in terms of driver dynamics. And let me finish this review by reminding you that I've been your host, Papa Scofo. You can call me Ibrahim Toloi on this epic review of the BMW 5 Series. Again, take an opportunity, take a second, take a minute to subscribe, hit the bell icon, and put all your notifications on, because we are just warming up. Have a lovely Sunday and see you next week.